session, I'm going to talk about GCC, which in full stands for Gulf Cooperation Council, which is a trade bloc comprised of 6 states in the Gulf region, among them Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. I'm also going to touch on some of the few important historical moments for GCC, which include November 1981, when the Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf was signed in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. In 1988, we see that the EU established bilateral relations with the GCC through a cooperation agreement signed in 1988, which was an agreement from both sides agreeing to enter into negotiations for free trade. And also in 1992, we can see that GCC Patent Office was approved and established in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Also in July 2004, we see China and GCC announce a launch of China-GCC Free Trade Agreement negotiations. And we also see in 2008, the GCC Common Market was launched, which granted national treatment to all GCC farms and the citizens. And also we note that around October 31st, 2009, after 6 rounds of meeting, New Zealand and GCC concluded the negotiations of a free trade agreement, which was later signed. And in December 15, 2009, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Qatar announced the creation of a monetary council, which was a step forward into establishing a shared currency between those states. And also we note that in 2011, May 10th, Jordan and Morocco, which had requested to join GCC, were officially invited to join GCC. The GCC, which was signed on 25th May 1981, bears the basic objectives for the GCC, and they include ensuring coordination, integration, and interconnection between the member states in all the fields. Another objective is strengthening the relations, links, and areas of cooperation already prevailing between their people in all the various fields. Another objective that is seen in the Charter is the formulation of similar regulations in various fields, such as in economic and financial affairs, commerce, customs, communication, and as well as education and culture. And another objective we see is the fostering of scientific, technological progress in the fields of industry, mining, agriculture, water, and animal resources to establish scientific research. Another objective we see is the establishment of scientific research centers. Another objective again is setting up of joint ventures within the member states, and also the encouragement of cooperation of private sectors in the member states. The organization is also broken down into 3 main structures.
GCC has 3 structures, namely the Supreme Council, the Ministerial Council, and the Secretariat General. The Supreme Council was established in Article 6 of the Charter as the highest authority of the corporations. It is formed of the heads of the member states of 6 states that participated in the foreign ministers meeting held in Riyadh on 4th February 1981, with its presidency on rotatory based on the alphabetical order of the names of the member states. The Supreme Council holds one regular session every year, and extraordinary sessions happens on request of any member, seconded by another member, all held in the territories of member states. The functions of Supreme Council are reviewing matters of interest to the member states, laying down the higher council of the Cooperation Council and the basic lines it should follow, reviewing the recommendations, reports, studies, and joint ventures submitted by the Ministerial Council for approval, and reviewing reports and studies with Secretary General is charged to prepare. Additionally, there is attached the Commission for Settlement of Disputes to the Supreme Council. The commission is mainly established by the Supreme Council for every case on a case by council, also determines the composition of the said commissions. All the disputes that arise with regard to the interpretation or implementation of the charter that have not been resolved within the various councils, the Supreme Council refers such dispute to the commission of the resolution. Ministerial Council. When it comes to the Ministerial Council, it was established under the Charter at Article 6 at Part 2. It is formed of the foreign ministers of the member states or other delegated ministers, with its presidency formed by the member state, which presided the last ordinary session of the Supreme Council. Unless necessary, the state which is next to preside the Supreme Council determines the venue of its next session, and ordinary convenes every 3 months only, holding at the invitation of any other member seconded by another member. The function of the Ministerial Council are proposing policies, preparing recommendations, studies and projects aimed at developing cooperation and coordination between member states in various fields, and adopt the resolutions or recommendations required in this regard. The second function of the Ministerial Council is encouraging, developing and coordinating activities existing between member states in all fields, referring the resolutions in such matters to the Ministerial Council for further submissions with recommendation to the Supreme Council for appropriate action. The third function of Ministerial Council is submitting recommendations to the minister concerned for formulation of policies to put the Corporations Council resolution into effect. The last function of the Ministerial Council is appointing the Assistant Secretaries General as nominated by the Secretary General. The Secretariat General, which was also established under Article 6 of the Charter, is made up of the Secretary General, who will have assistants and additional staff on hand as needed. The Secretary General is appointed by the Supreme Council for a 3-year term that may be extended once, and is obligated to be a citizen of one of the Corporation Council states. The Secretary General will be directly in charge of the Secretariat General's operation and the efficient running of its several entities. The functions of the Secretariat General are developing research on coordinated action, cooperation and integrated plans and programs for member state participation, creating recurring reports on the Corporation Council's activities, monitoring the member states' execution of the Supreme Council and Ministerial Council resolutions and recommendations, compulsion reports and studies upon ministerial or Supreme Council request, drafting financial and administrative procedures to keep up with the Corporation Council's expansion and its growing duties, prepare the Corporation Council's budgets and closing accounts, arrange agendas, draft resolutions and meeting preparations for the Ministerial Council. Lastly, to suggest the Ministerial Council Chairman that when needed, an extraordinary meeting of the Council to be called.
Well, a landmark summit is set to take place between leaders of ASEAN and the Gulf states next week. The meeting on the 20th of October, which experts say comes amid shared concerns of superpower rivalry, is expected to deepen economic and energy cooperation between the regional blocs. Young White Kid has more.
strengthening links both within ASEAN and with the wider region and beyond. In recent years, ASEAN has been upgrading its relationship with various dialogue partners, with the US, China, India, Japan and Australia. Now, these ties have been elevated to what's known as a CSP, or Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Now, CSPs are ASEAN's highest level of engagements with partners, and this reflects the breadth and depth of these ties. Now, ASEAN is looking at greater cooperation with the Middle East. Relations have picked up pace, with all 6 members of the Gulf Cooperation Council signing ASEAN's Peace Pact in recent years. The GCC, which comprises Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain and Oman, first established ties with ASEAN in 1990.
For a long time, the relationships was quite modest, to be honest. It was mostly about cultural exchange, but on both sides, I think there was a certain level of benign neglect.
The GCC was established in 1981. Usually in the institutional life of any organization, the first decade is always spent consolidating relations amongst its own members, and that is really the GCC's main objective as well.
The foreign ministers of both blocs meet every year on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Now, leaders of ASEAN and GCC are set to meet for the first time in Saudi Arabia later this month.
I expect that there will be there will be a kind of plan of action that will be agreed between the two sides that will expand linkages into trade, investments, cooperation in the energy space, for instance, because we are actually talking about a time of transitioning into clean energy because of climate change. I think these are concerns that both sides have, equal concerns. There's interest in maybe growing the halal food industry, developing the standards in this area.
Dr. Saman says the GCC is motivated to boost ties with ASEAN by geopolitics.
More and more, the Gulf states are finding themselves in the middle of the US-China competition. You have states such as the UAE or Saudi Arabia that have been deepening their ties with China in terms of connectivity. So those are countries that historically were close partners of the US. So they find themselves in a very delicate spot today, is that look at ASEAN as a case study, as a model potentially for them to know how to navigate the great power competition.
ASEAN's stand is not to become a proxy for any power. And with its outward-looking policies, the strengthening of cooperation with GCC looks set to bring about more benefits to both sides. Young Wai Kit, CNA.